Okay, so we're about to go into this chat. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. Let's see what happens. Install. I didn't install Zoom!
Recording
Hey,
in progress.
Carrie, can you hear me?
Yes. Got it. I'm so nervous and excited.
Oh, don't be nervous. It's okay. It's good. We got this.
Okay, awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
This is our first time connecting.
Yep.
So that helps me a little bit, but I kind of feel like it's not your first time doing this sort of thing before. Like you've done other types of readings and with other people, I'm assuming.
Well, a little bit, but mainly just one, really. So.
Okay. Because I feel like the best way I can say it is your skeptic wall has been broken, so it's more excitement versus skepticism, which
Yes.
I totally understand.
Yes.
That being said, can I just ask you quickly, how did you hear about me?
I heard about you through Selena's and Chris Collins, that video.
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So that helps me because that also explains as much as what you've seen from what I do.
Yes.
Because I see you have booked for a mediumship reading, which is connecting to the loved ones on the other side.
Yep.
So when I do that, it's pretty basic. Like I don't really go through a lot of information. I let you know, of course, that if you have questions as we go, you can ask them.
Okay.
If I ask you questions, you don't have to give me details. You can just say yes or no to my questions. And then that being said, in order for me to channel the information, which things are kind of already starting to come in, but
Okay.
in order for me to channel your spirits and the people around you, I need your full name and your birth. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm seeing more than one energy coming forward here, so that kind of helps me.
Okay.
I mean, it just tells me that there's quite a few loved ones on the other side that we can connect with. I also do get the feeling that there's someone that you specifically asked to come through.
Okay. I'm trying not to react, but I'm probably going to.
Okay, no, that's okay. So the first one that I'm picking up more strongly on is a male figure coming in, and he's very persistent in like needing his presence to be known. That he was, I believe, the one that you were asking to come forward. Okay. So for the sake of a few different things, I'm getting a whole bunch at once here, but I feel health issues going on, and I'm starting to get like pain in the head, and specifically like back behind the ears, like headaches and things like that.
Okay.
And kind of going down the neck. I'm not sure if there was something like that was health-wise going on here, but I do feel like that there was some kind of pain because I'm just feeling that. Does that make sense?
Was this could this be anybody, like me or anybody that's coming through?
I think it's the male that's coming through that's sharing some symptoms with me that he was experiencing.
Okay. If it's the person that I'm thinking, I wasn't there when they had, like towards the very end when they had passed, so I don't know exactly where that would come in.
Okay, but let me just validate for you in the sense that the reason why they would explain things to me this way and give you this information is because actually I'm getting told two reasons, and things are kind of getting a bit clearer now too.
Okay.
I feel like this male figure is like very fatherly towards you, whether he's your dad or not. He's protective over you and like guiding to you, and he just wants to be there for you.
Yes. That's 100%
Okay,
correct.
Is it your dad?
It's not my dad.
So yeah, the reason why he would say this about the throat and like the head and the neck region and stuff is because of the fact that you would have someone you could validate this with.
Okay.
Who would have known, he would have spoken to and shared these things with.
Okay.
It's also to do with the fact that you've never really had a mediumship reading before. You've probably had like a psychic reading or a different type of reading, but not this exact type. And that's where he's saying that you personally in characteristic are somebody that needs the emotional supporter to be there, and that emotional supporter to you needs to be somebody that you know, love, and trust, which is why the information coming, like being validated from this other family member, is going to actually be more beneficial than hearing it from me, kind of thing.
Okay.
It's just more for your personal emotional transition to the information.
Okay.
Now, he's also showing me lots of animals surrounding him. I kind of feel like he likes the outdoors, like being on like farmland or something, country space.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's very loving, and he needs to bring forward a lot of information for you. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Is he your He's your grandfather.
Yes.
He's not your dad, he's your grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, but understand this from his perspective though. When he was having his children, his life was very busy. He was the hard worker. He couldn't be there to actually like interact and spend the time with them.
Yes.
But when it came time to play grandpa and get to be there and be a part of your life, especially when you were really young, he got to be there and he got to play that role kind of thing. So that's, he shows me like all that joy and the happiness that it brought to him. Yes. And that's where he really got to step more into the fatherly role with you than he did with his own children because he wasn't able to be there.
Yes.
And it's because of the time frame he was born in and raised in.
Yes.
It's the role that he had to play. So no judgment in any way, but so much love. And oh my gosh, do you have a brother?
I do. I have 2 brothers, actually.
Was there one that you spent more time with, like when you were a child, that you spent time with grandpa with?
I think what's coming through is current. Maybe not because when we were little, we all hung out. Like I hung out with my brothers a lot. So we played with each other a lot.
It was just, I think it lagged out there.
Okay. Because
it's 2 of you, like there's only 2 connections.
So I would say maybe it's coming through where, I don't want to give it all away either, but.
Oh, no, I get it. It's okay. There's one brother on the other side with your grandfather, correct? The grandfather's able to connect me to another energy that I think is involved with your brother, or it is your brother, one or the other.
Otherwise, the only other person that I could know of that would be coming through would be my mom's brother. He died when he was 10, and he's been coming through, because I don't want to give away anything, but he's been coming through a lot, and so that's possibly where it comes through, maybe.
Okay. And would this be your mom's dad that we're connecting to?
So this would be my dad's dad. On my dad's side?
Your dad's dad.
Yes.
But it's your mom's brother that okay. So honestly, I know it might not make sense to you because in the physical world, they didn't necessarily know each other in any way. They were totally separate lives and families and all of that.
Yep.
But because they have that connection to you, but are on the other side, it's basically like they know each other.
Okay.
There's no separation in that sense.
Okay.
Also in the same concept that time doesn't exist on the other side.
Yes.
So that's probably where the brother thing is coming in. And because I'm going to connect to him afterwards, because for some reason I feel like there's a brother on the other side that needs to be connected to.
Okay.
And I don't know, something, I'll ask about that after, but I'm hearing something, I think Chris something, but
Chris?
maybe it's Christmas, something like that, but it's okay. I'm connecting more to the grandfather figure right now. He's coming through because he's more of a spirit guide to you. He has more information basically for you personally.
Okay.
I think the brother though is coming forward, and it makes sense because you said it's your mom's brother, because that's basically more information that is meant, and I think you'll understand this, but it's meant to come forward as a way for you to be a messenger to your mom.
Yes.
And share things with her from this reading.
Yes.
So that's totally understandable, but we'll tap on that after.
Okay.
Your grandfather, he's asking me to connect you more to personal space, like personal time, where you are right now in your own life, your own path. It's interesting. I feel like the best way I can describe this is you've been going through really intense healing journey, where this like hypothetical or like painted on mask that you were living behind at one point has just been basically ripped right off through that process. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because that's like the analogy that he's showing me, and it's like he's explaining to me that you're beginning to see more clearly your own truth and your own feelings and emotions, and with that you've decided and you've allowed yourself to connect more to your inner self and your inner voice. But it's still a process and it's still taking place, but he's saying that this is something that most recently happened for you, and he's really proud of you, and he says that in your life there aren't very many people who acknowledge and validate for you those different types of healing experiences, because your tribe is much more broad and further spread. So like maybe not the kind of people you go see in person, basically. They're an internet tribe, I guess.
Yes.
But he's explaining that for you, this is a really big milestone in your life, and it's really kind of like when you think about like a pathway that you're walking, like your life path, it's like your life path totally just went up like a hill, except the downside of the hill isn't for like a really long time down. Like, you know, when life starts to kind of take transition to the other side, you're on the upside now.
Okay, good.
what's it's not, I don't mean to make it sound cheesy, because it's really not meant to be cheesy and like, super happy, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's nice for me to be able to say these kinds of things too, considering I don't get to say this to everybody, but it's more like you've lived your life in the denser, more lower vibrational frequencies in the past years
Yes.
that you were living.
Yes.
Now it's time for you to live the polar opposite, which is the higher frequencies. And it's not to say that when you make your transition, you're gonna like go back into lower frequencies. It's just that you have to go back into a bit of a balance in order for the transition to take place, because you're leaving that density behind, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. 100%. Yep.
Okay. Grandfather is explaining that you're still in the process of the healing transition, and he says that you have a deep respect for the concept that you are only given what it is that you handle, like when it comes to your challenges and the things that come forward in life.
Okay.
And with that deep respect, that's where your grandfather's speaking to the fact that there's a lot more coming, and it's basically like the best days are actually ahead of you, and the ones behind you are meant to be in the past as basically a foundation and a building block to the things that are coming.
Okay.
But the really good days are coming soon.
Okay.
I see a strong shift taking place as well in your relationship, because I do feel that the relationship with yourself has deeply shifted. So the relationship that you have outside of yourself, that spousal relationship, it's also shifting, but it takes a little bit more time for that ripple effect to kind of hit that relationship. But it is taking place, and I feel like that shift is kind of carrying through with other areas of your life as well, because I do feel like expansion is coming in multiple areas. Expansion in the sense of business, expansion in the sense of like career, more responsibilities, like taking on more. I kind of get the feeling that like you're somebody that actively has multiple projects on the go at once. But you're good at multitasking. You're good at keeping the focus to each different thing. And that's where your grandfather is saying that you're very smart and analytical. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I feel like some of these things are things that he's taught you, because he's very proud when he says that he's like very proud in energy. He's indicating that you have a plan, you have a goal, and you're working on it. It's taking a little more time than you would have hoped, but you have a plan. And he wants to validate for you that your plan is going to work. You need to continue pushing forward. He says he's seen more speed bumps that you've been through than anything, and he's proud of you for overcoming the speed bumps, but he needs you to like understand in an emotional perspective that your momentum to get over those speed bumps will grow much quicker, knowing that it's just a matter of time, I guess you could say.
Okay.
It is coming. You're going to reach your goal very intensely, but and in the way that you're meant. So, but expansion, definitely expansion.
I've always wondered that, so.
Moving is a big thing too. I don't feel like that's something that happened recently for you, which your grandfather's really more focused on telling me about the future. And he's saying that the home that you're in right now isn't really the dream home. It's the family home, but it's not the dream home.
Okay.
And that's what he's explaining, that you are going to be transitioning and moving out of that home into the more suitable sort of dream home for you, for your point in life right now, is the best way to explain that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. Now I love this man's energy. He's so funny. He explains that he's ready to step back. He wants to leave a message for your mom as well, because I do feel like it would be her father-in-law. He really enjoyed her presence. He like fancied her as a person, as an individual, and really accepted her as that daughter-in-law energy there. So he wants to just pass along that message that he sends his love to her as well. And then that's where he steps back, and that's where the brother is coming in. So that's where everything's kind of like coming to full circle, because the brother is connected to her too. Now the brother, I want to add some clarity to this, so I'm going to use a different technique that I've used in the past before, and just to say that there's multiple ways to be able to do this, but could you give me the brother's first name only?
Okay, Leonard. And then technically there are two brothers that have passed. So Leonard and Ralph.
Did Ralph pass first and then Leonard?
I believe Leonard passed first and then Ralph, but I'll have to double check.
Okay, because I do feel like it's pretty close. That's interesting. Were they really close in age then?
Technically no. Leonard, no. I'd have to look. I know how old they were when they passed, but I don't know like the date that Ralph died. I just know when Leonard died, like the date of his passing.
Okay, so basically I think what the closeness is. Do you know if they passed at a closer date? Like it was the passing that was closeness together.
I don't
Does
see
that make sense? Like maybe within the same year, the same 2 years?
It might have been, but I'll have to look.
Because there's an indication of closeness between the two of them.
Okay.
Maybe it speaks to the relationship that they had. Maybe they were very close together as individuals. That's not the direction they pointed me in, but it's very possible.
Yeah.
Given their brothers.
Yep.
I'm more connected to the energy, I think, of Leonard at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him to come through.
He's the one that's stronger connection to your mom too, right?
He's the one that's been coming through to me, to talking to me, and I feel like he has a lot of questions for me and my mom, but that's kind of where it all like stopped. So I don't know how to like obviously ask him like what his questions were.
Okay. So I'm not sure who, they're not being specific about this, but I feel like one of them is like passed very early on in life, the other one passed later in life.
Yes.
I'm not getting clarity of which and which, because it's like their energies are mixing when they send me their messages.
Okay.
So some of it might be a little backwards or something like that.
Okay.
You can help me to determine stuff.
Yep. So Ralph was 2 when he passed away, and Leonard was 10. So they were still obviously children.
Yes, children, but there's so I'm wondering about the closeness of,
because I had asked my mom if Ralph was older than her or younger, and she said he was younger than her. Leonard passed away before my mom was alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why she has such a connection to him, because Leonard is more connection to a spirit guide to your mom.
Okay.
So, that makes a lot more sense now, actually. And the fact that this is a messenger sort of situation for your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your mom has been going through some things like health-wise. And I do feel like she's been, following through with herself and going and seeing appropriate medical professionals and things.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like things haven't been the way that they were supposed to work out. Leonard's not giving me this is what's going on or something like that. Like this is the diagnosis or this is the medical term of the situation for her. He just explains that she's completely off balance with her energy in a medical, physical sort of perspective.
Yeah.
Everything keeps changing and she doesn't really know what's going on, so there's no answer to that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something that she has been experiencing for quite some time too. It's not new. It's more of a long period of time frame too.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes even more to the emotion of sadness. Questions wise, I do feel like there's some questions in regards to the passing here. Something's going on with, I keep seeing farmland.
Yeah.
Was there an accident? Something happened on a farm?
Yes. Oh gosh, I got chills. Yeah. So I know how he passed. I'm just curious if you could have picked up on that. Do you want me to tell you?
Is that what he's sharing me? Is that what he's kind of leading me into right now? Is this a farm accident?
Yes. So yeah, exactly. So they lived on a farm. He was up in the barn. Apparently he was throwing the hay, and he slipped and he fell and he hit the concrete floor. And then his brain apparently started to swell and bleed, and then they took him to the hospital. And apparently he was there for 30 days, and back then they didn't know how do they fix that. It was the 1950s. They didn't have any way to help him. And so I don't know the details of if he was in a coma or what his condition was when he was in the hospital. I just know that after he was in the hospital for about a month, he passed away. And so I always wondered.
I get the feeling of being, and I only know this because I felt it from other readings and stuff like that, but a vegetable state. After this had happened, he didn't have function of his body. He wasn't capable, I'm sure you would have known that detail. That's why he's sharing that.
Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to, after I was told that, I was hoping that maybe he wasn't in pain, because again, we didn't, they couldn't help him. And I always thought God, I hope he wasn't, in pain. If he couldn't talk or move or anything for 30 days, at least I hope his pain was managed. None of us really know.
Right. After the flow to the head, basically. Okay. His consciousness, his personality, it was basically just not there for him.
Okay.
He was totally spaced out. He was totally like gone, I guess you could explain it as.
Okay.
But not gone, like the physical body was still functioning to a certain degree, not very well, but still there.
Yeah.
And then that's where the downhill decline started to place because of the swelling on the brain. Mm-hmm. The way he shows me this is he also shows me something about the farm. Something I think what he's trying to indicate is that at that time that I think he was buried like at the farm, on the farm, or next to the farm or something. Like there's a burial ground close to this farm that he's trying to show me or indicate about. Okay.
Yeah. So the cemetery it's not real close, but it's pretty much like right down the road from where that farm was back then.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because he's indicating the closeness to from resting place to there. But the way that he shows me this is like his soul started to kind of venture back and forth, come in and out of his physical body from the point of the head hitting the ground and taking the blow to the ground, because it's like he wasn't physically in the body experiencing the pain and things. Mm-hmm. He was experiencing like the transition. His body was getting ready, the density was getting ready and sort of balancing out for him to be able to transition back to the other side. Yeah, so just to clarify, Leonard is your mom's brother.
Yep.
And I'm correct. I feel like Leonard's mom, so your mom's mom, is also on the other side too.
Yep.
And he's had the opportunity to talk to her, make peace about this and everything there. So it's kind of like I don't have to explain that to him, but it's like your mom needs to hear the part, because she I feel took this very hard, like that this brother wasn't there for her. This brother was in her life, even though there wasn't much of a connection in the physical world that they had. I still feel like it hurt her a lot, like deeply on a soul level.
Oh, yeah.
That's where, so Leonard's asking you to just share the message that he was completing a lifetime that he had shared with the parents and the loved ones prior to this lifetime. And it was basically like there was only a few lessons needed left to learn, or he could go on to his next experience, his next lesson, his next life, right? Mm-hmm. So he chose to come here for a short period of time with the particular people that he did to finish out that lesson, and that she, being his mom, grandma, was a part of that, and she now understands that. She doesn't, there's total understanding to all of that, but your mom needs to have the validation or have the explanation given to her, because it's like Leonard is saying, I was only meant to have a short time, but my short time was exactly what it was meant to be. Mm-hmm. And he's also showing me how happy he was. Like he loved being a farm boy. He loved flinging hay. He loved being near the animals. He loved everything about the country and the country air and even the smell of poop is the way that he explained it. Like he just loved it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of kid he was. I feel like even though just being at such a young age, he was ready to work hard. He was ready to put in his part. And I think this has a lot to do with how much he watched the older boys and the older men in his family be active and work. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to be that too. So that's really cute, that personality there.
Yeah.
Okay. And Leonard has been coming through trying to talk to you as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that, I think you were supposed to be used as a messenger for sure, in the sense that you're sharing this with your mom and everything, but okay. I see a little one coming in, but I don't feel like it's a direct connection to you. Okay. I'm wondering if you have children that are getting to the age of, having partners and starting their own lives and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's coming, it's down the line a little bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It could be. So I don't have children. I have nephews, but I don't have any children.
Is this something, because I'm not trying to total left field you that you're not expecting this, but I feel like Leonard's trying to show me that there's a little child coming into your life. And if this is something that you're open to, then it might very well be you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's not happening.
I mean, yeah,
it's a little bit into the future.
Yeah, if it would be, it would be into the future, I would say.
I'm getting about 2 to 2.5 years into the future here.
Okay.
I feel like you're still, for lack of better words, putting stepping stones in place for your own peace of mind, because it's really what's prevented things from happening until this point is literally your own consciousness blocking that from taking place, because you know when you want these things to take place in your life, and you have a very, very strong mindset towards that, I guess you could say. And
Yeah.
I think you're very well aware of like the power of the mind, like mind over matter and all that kind of stuff, and how it can actually really affect our own bodies as well when it comes to healing or medicine or health in that sense. So I think that's really what's going on for you. And I only see one.
Okay.
I think that's the interesting thing. I only see one.
Okay. I was told one time I would have 3 kids, and then I said, my gosh, like I'd have to start right now. I have 3 kids. I'm like, that's a lot.
But no, for you and your partner, I really feel like there's only one.
Okay.
I just feel one energy. I feel like it's a close-knit, very small, loving family. I also feel male.
Okay.
Very strong male energies in that.
Okay.
And it's interesting that Leonard is the one bringing this forward, because it's like he's trying to indicate that part of his journey is still within the family. He's part of this journey in some manner.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the concept of reincarnation? And
Yep.
everybody's belief towards these things are much different.
Yep.
But I think what he's asking you to do in this perspective is just to keep an open mind in the concept of it, and that it happens differently for all spirits and all lives that are being taken. They have different choices, different opportunities, depending on where they're at in their soul's journey, not just their human life journey. So he's indicating to me, I think, that part of his journey is meant to come back and be a part of this family again, but in a different body, a different space, And it's not like he's going to have characteristics of Leonard. He's going to have his own characteristics. He's not going to have any recollection or anything like that. This is a whole new journey, a whole new, experience and fresh start kind of thing. And I feel like this is because there is some new energy that is involved in your family. And I say this because it's like, I feel like for you specifically, there's certain people in your family here and that have passed that you felt a really strong soul connection to, whereas there's other people in the family where you kind of were felt more of a distant connection. Yeah. And that usually speaks to the fact that those distant connections are newer energies coming into your family and being a part of your soul's tribe's journey, basically. And that's where I feel like this Leonard and his energy, he's not a new energy. So you'll recognize him as soon as this comes in. This is meant to happen.
Okay.
He sends his love to you. He sends his love to your mom. And then it's like he steps back now and he allows your mom's mom, grandma, to come forward as well. You, I feel, had a pretty strong connection to her when you were pretty young.
Yeah.
She shows me that she was like an emotional rock of personal security for you. This is interesting. She's very outdoorsy, I feel, and loves gardens, loves gardening, getting her hands in the dirt, planting her own vegetables, and literally walking right out to the garden, picking her salad, going in the house, washing it, and eating it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. But as much as she loved her food gardening, I feel she loved her flowers and everything too. It was just as important to have a pretty garden, just as it was to have your food.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in trouble now.
Oh no.
Okay, she's sharing with me a part of what you're going through in your journey, and the fact that you're pretty stressed out. You got that stress threshold is hitting the limits up here, I feel.
Yeah.
And grandma's trying to say that there was a reason why she spent so much time in the garden. There was a reason why she played in the dirt the way that she did. As much as that's the way the kids mentioned it and spoke about it, it was playing, but she explains that it's the grounding aspect to it. Being able to be barefoot on the ground and the way that it will affect your energy and the way that it will cleanse the stress from you is what I feel she's trying to remind you of. And she's basically asking you to, even if you just go outside and take your shoes off for 5 minutes a day and stand in the grass, it's going to help you relieve some of that stress. She's explaining to me that when you were a little girl, you would be outside with her, you would be playing in the garden, you'd be hugging trees, you would be I feel like you were the one that pretended there was fairies in the garden. And you had imaginary friends. And she's so taken back by your imagination, and she's fascinated with watching you. It's so cute getting her perspective of this, but she indicates that that's what you need to bring back in you, even if it's for a little bit of time, and then you allow it to be put back on the shelf kind of thing, and then you keep moving on to your adult things. But she's saying right now there's so much going on for you that you just need to be some time for you. And it's she's kind of standing standing there and she wants to hug you because she's like trying to take that load off your shoulders, but there's not as much that she can do from the other side as she would like.
Yeah.
So that's why she's kind of like giving you that get outside, the kick in the butt, get outside, get your grounding going on, be near nature, be outside like you know you love to be, but you haven't been allowing yourself because it's like you're prioritizing your time in other ways.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, she's coming forward just for you in that perspective.
Okay.
So I know you had said that you do something to do with like social media, YouTube, podcasts, or something like that. This is, I think, relating to this.
Okay.
Your grandma is explaining that that's where a lot of your energy is going into right now. Planning and perspective and just future prospects and ideas and things like that are what you're really working on.
Yep.
She says that you overthink a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you need, she's showing me like you need a better system when it comes to getting the thoughts out of your head and writing them down. You have all these really good ideas. And then she indicates to me that you need to get out of your own way because she says that you need help.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hire other people, but know and trust in your heart that the universe is going to bring you, or grandma, or these people, your loved ones on the other side, are going to bring you the right people that will help you to get to where you need to get with your business and your goals in life. And she's indicating that if you can detach from that like concept of if I want it done right, I have to do it myself, you know, let that go. You're going to be able to dictate the workout, free up a lot more of your time, and then have the energy to put into the things that are really going to make the money for you.
Okay.
Okay, so grandma's definitely on your pages, on your side as well. She sends her love as well. So they just want that. She's just verifying that she's like, I want to make sure that these messages reach your mom, so her daughter as well. She sends her love, and she just wants you both to know that she is so happy and so proud and feeling great, feeling loving energy where she is. She's got her own family where she is. She has family, she has animals, she has her friends. I do feel like there was some friends that she would speak of in her later years that she didn't get, that were passed before her, but she's been reunited, so it's important that your mom's aware of that. Everybody's kind of just giving their closing messages here. Leonard kind of jokingly is like, see you soon.
That's actually kind of creepy because on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of ghost hunting. And so we've gone out to Leonard's like gravesite, and we've gone out to other places, and every time I go out, his name pops up. So when I said he's trying to communicate with us, he literally pops up every time we ask, like, who's here? He comes through. So the fact that you said, I'll see you later or whatever, we'll probably see him the next time we go out to the cemetery.
That's awesome. No, that's so cute.
That's funny.
I wonder too if you, like, the connection to him in this lifetime could possibly be like you have a son and you maybe give him the middle name of Leonard.
Yeah.
You know, just in honor of him or something like that.
It could be. We'll see in whatever years.
Given what you do and everything, and the fact that you have such a strong, like, loving family of spiritual tribe really around you, you are so in the right, like, you're doing what you need to do as far as like helping spirits, helping souls to transition to the other side. Because that's kind of what I feel like is what you do. Does that make sense?
I was hoping that you would say that, and I'm sorry for going over our time limit, but I've always wondered if what I'm currently doing by like going out to the cemeteries and talking to spirits and stuff and helping them move on or whatever is literally what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yes. So, okay, you have to, and I totally share this in your video if you're watching this. It's awesome. It's interesting. I have been meant to connect with certain people that do this, and Selena actually does something pretty similar, but her gift is different. Everybody has their own little talents and gifts, right? And yours is similar in the sense that I do feel that you're meant to connect to the spirits on the other side that are sort of stuck here. They're not stuck, they're just not really aware, and by you communicating with them, it creates that awareness so that they are capable of moving on. And basically you're the support to them doing that because of the beacon of light that you carry, right? That's part of the purpose being here. Now, speaking to that, that is what we would call part of your soul's purpose, your spiritual purpose here, which is why financially other things come very easily to you. Like being able to make small investments and see a positive return with little to no risk. That kind of thing, what your grandma's trying to push you to do is because the universe is trying to set you up with a financially free lifestyle outside of what it is that you do, because you're here helping the residual energies that are kind of left behind. And when I say left behind, it's because the way that the planet is going through energetic shifts and transitions at this current time, and the vibrational frequency is kind of going from like the stereotypical terms, I believe, is like third dimension to fifth dimension. And because that's happening, all those lower density energies and spirits and things like that, they need to be aided and crossed over as well. So that's basically part of your soul's role here, is to help those spirits. And in that process, you share it. You share what you do, because when you share, you open up the minds and they help others awaken and understand that, you know, what they're seeing right in front of them isn't all that's there. Yeah. And that's a huge part of your purpose as well. Think technology and the beauty of it, for the fact that you get to share with as many people as you do. But this comes back to, like, this is part of who you are. This is part of who your soul's purpose, and you are helping, you are aiding. And even though you're not, you know, necessarily walking through the golden gate or being religious about things or anything like that, you're doing it the way that your inner voice has guided you to do what you're meant to do, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. There's no like textbook answer or like textbook way of going about this. It's just what you feel is right. Yep. But your loved ones on the other side are just like cheering you on, and they're like, you have nothing to worry about. We have got your back. I would honestly like to get to know a little bit more about what you do and stuff, because I think that there's a way that I can actually help you to expand your gift, and we could maybe do some trading and stuff and learn from each other. Yeah. But because I'm being shown that right now you've got this mindset that limits you to needing to be in the physical space that you're connecting to, where you actually have the ability to connect through remote viewing in your mind, through meditation, and actually being able to like kind of like have somebody message you online and then say, you know, this is my address, and maybe they send you a picture of their house, like they walk out to the street and take a picture kind of thing and send you, and then you're cleansing and you're connecting with the energy that's trapped in the physical space there through the photo, and you're even able to help the transition take place. Because really? Yeah, your gifts are, that's where I'm talking about expansion is taking place, like for you mentally, physically, like on all levels. And this is something that's going to happen. And because of what you're doing and how you share with the world already, people on a global scale are going to start reaching out to you to have you help them with their space and their energies. And oh God, I'm getting goosebumps. Literally like 2 weeks, like I think like last week I was literally, something popped into my head about remote viewing. So I started to look up podcasts and I was like listening to it, and then I started looking up scrying and like all of the other types of divination like that. And I'm like, why am I thinking about this? But you know, I'm always like, I want to learn how to do all this stuff because it just seems so interesting. It's crazy that you're saying all this. You're like just validating. I feel like it's part of what you're doing and the expansion of what you're doing, and like how, yes, what you're doing is great. YouTube in itself is a basket, like an egg basket of financial, you know, money for you to grow and things like that. And being able to connect to so many different people is just the genuine relationship that you're building with your audience and things, and your people. I guess I want to call them your tribe. Yeah. But those people that are watching you, those people, they're your OGs. They're gonna be there forever. But there's so much more. Like, how can I explain it? It's like I see a webbing of like the people that are there right now, and then there's people outside of that they know that might need your help, and that's where the growth is. That's where you're really going to see everything transition and transform. I don't feel like it's far off for you either, which is really nice timeline-wise. I don't usually talk and speak to timelines because everything tends to be like domino effect. But I really feel like you've got a lot of momentum going in your life. You're really focused in your energy and your goals and stuff like that. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't slow down. Of course, be graceful with yourself when we have those days. Everybody has days. Yeah. As Grandma keeps saying, keep getting back on track, because everything is happening the way that it's meant to. Like I was saying, not to be cheesy or corny, but the universe has to take care of these other areas, and in order for those other areas to be taken care of, you have to allow it. You have to kind of open the door for it, right? And that's what she's saying to do.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And until then, have a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Dude, that was wild. Okay, I'm gonna leave all of her information in the description box below. If you want to get a reading done in any way, that's a lot of information. Click the links below, and if you like this video, like the video, subscribe, because obviously things are going to be getting better over here on YouTube in the near future, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.